Something special is happening in Boston as a recent change that they have made in today's lineup has caused a lot of fans to love what the Bruins are about to do. We're going to be breaking it down as this is going to have some serious implications on what this team looks like over the next foreseeable future. We're also going to be breaking down a few moves that the Bruins have made with the plethora of injuries that have plagued not just the Boston Bruins, but also the Providence Bruins. But before we do jump into this video here today, ladies and gentlemen, if you haven't already, be sure to hit the sub button. Join me here on the channel. We're covering everything Boston Bruins, and stemming from the last few games, everything that we have seen with injuries, there's going to be a lot of news that we have coming over these next couple of days and weeks, and we're going to have it here every single day for you guys. You won't want to miss any updates, so be sure to hit that sub button. But we need to jump straight into today's video. First of all, going over the changes that have been made. Now, this ain't a roster move. This is nothing like that. This is a line change that is going to set in motion a series of events that many players, specifically these three, have been waiting for on this Bruins roster. And you see from today's practice lines from Bell Frazier, the first line, Matej Blumel, Pavel Zacha, and David Pastrnak. 3 checks on that first line, something that we have theorized here on the channel since the day Matej Blumel signed with the Boston Bruins. We knew the influence that Pavel Zacha and David Pastrnak would have on this young player in Matej Blumel, and we saw him go down the AHL, beginning of the season, really didn't have it just yet, but now the time is here. He's in the NHL. First game, very solid, and now he's taking a serious leap onto this first line with his 2 countrymates. So this is something that I think a lot of people have really not just theorized, but also been waiting for, and especially with Marco Sturm at the helm. We know that he likes his European players. That's been no surprise. He's a very good coach. He's been able to coach anybody, but there's always been that special knack with European players, and this line to me has at least something in store that we're not going to see for a long time after this. I feel like the connection that these three are going to have is going to be something just monumental, at least to start with. The momentum is going to be here, and it's kind of a different feeling when you're playing with your players that you've not necessarily played with internationally from Matej Blumel and Pastrnak, but you're from the same country. You have that kind of extra layer to something on this team. So I'm excited to see what's in store for tonight, later on at an absolutely abysmal time, by the way, against the Los Angeles Kings. But it's not just the chemistry that's making this whole thing really kind of go crazy out of water. This lineup just makes a lot of sense. You have a guy like Matej Blumel, who was an absolute sniper in the AHL, not so much this season, but with the Texas Stars, really held that as a very high position. David Pastrnak, another all-around superstar in the NHL, incredible playmaker, incredible goal scorer, the whole 9 yards. Then you have a guy in the middle, Pavel Zacha, who this season, not really putting up an incredible, goal total, but 17 points in 22 games with 12 assists. His playmaking on this second line here this year has been second to none. And now when you're looking at everything as a whole, everything that comes out to be in this lineup, it makes a lot of sense as to how this, well, obviously the chemistry, but how this would work on the ice. And I could be totally wrong. Let's not gotta go kid ourselves here. It will have to be seen on ice how it actually does perform. There's been lines that we've thought before that would make a whole lot of sense. Put them together, it was probably the worst thing we've ever seen. But this right now makes sense with the play styles, the chemistry these guys have. Also goes for the second line. Murat Kuznetsov, someone who's been on that first line since Elias Lindholm was out, down with Morgan Geekie and Alex Steves right now. The same goes for these guys, because when you have kind of a set of players like, Matej Blumel in this instance, who we look at his point total right here from, or I should say goal scoring over the past couple of seasons with the Texas Stars, 39 goals last season, 31 the year before, 72 points, 62 points. He's a guy that is very familiar with goal scoring, and if he can continue to do that, show that he can do that to Marco Sturm, this Bruins team, he was going to have a very good spot, and I feel like there's no better person to have setting him and David Pastrnak up for an opportunity to score a goal than Pavel Zacha. feel like the same is going on with the second line. You see Morgan Geekie being currently tied for fourth, and I'll put this up on this screen here so you can see the goal total. Being tied for second, but in fourth on the positions for goals for this season, was first as of yesterday, or tied for first, but Nathan MacKinnon, of course, is putting up some incredible numbers. He's another guy on this line that you're going to see with Alex Steeves, Murat Huznatinov, get the opportunities to dish the puck to Morgan Geekie. Morgan Geekie can deal it as well. These lines, especially the top two here, and as we've seen the bottom two, or the bottom six, I should say, be absolutely fantastic as well. I'm excited to see how this works because after a 2-game losing streak right now, we know the history with either having Elias Lindholm or Charlie McAvoy out of the lineup hasn't been great for this Bruins team. But going into this, if they want to generate offense, this is the way to do it. And especially over these next couple of games when you're looking at how the schedule is going. Tonight against the Kings, the Sharks, the Islanders, the Rangers, the Red Wings. A few teams in the Atlantic that you're going to want to beat. Some teams in the West who are very, very good that you need to take control of and show the rest of the NHL that you're in a position to go and dominate this league. This team is ready to do it. But Matej Blumel did speak out about this, and I feel like this is another reason as to why everything seems to be in a crazy position here. He said, you come into the locker room and see your name up there with these two and morning skate with them. It is a really cool moment. When I signed here, it was kind of my wish to suit up for a game with those two, and that wish came very, very early, and I feel like for Matej Blumel, it has absolutely been deserved. And at this point right now, I think it's just a matter of time that we have to wait and see how this does play out. But I have full confidence in Matej Blumel that he will seize this opportunity. And from going on here, I think this is going to really write what this season, not the entire season, but what comes next for Matej Blumel here over the next couple of games. But we do have another move that has been made, a few sets of moves, and this is not just a lineup change, but this one here is a kind of an interesting signing, a PTO in the AHL. Christian Wolanin, I do excuse myself for pronouncing that wrong, but has signed a PTO with the Providence Bruins as well as Sean Element. However, one thing about Christian Wolanin is that he is a very familiar face for one person in this organization, and that is Marco Sturm. Now, like I mentioned, the Providence Bruins have kind of been plagued with the injuries as well due to how many players from that team are in the NHL with the Bruins to help them out with the injuries to not just Jordan Harris, Charlie McAvoy, a whole group of players that have been dealing with injuries. And they need some help. They need some reinforcements. And Christian Wolanin is definitely someone here who is at a very interesting point in his career. Formerly of a few different teams, I think most recently the Vancouver Canucks. But when you're looking at his time at Abbotsford, over that time, he was actually pretty solid. 40 points in 58 games, 29 points in 42 games, 55 points in 49 games. Very, very solid. But that 1 year with the Ontario Reign and the LA Kings is where we see Marco Sturm familiar with him. And you know he had a say about this PTO. He was asked a question. He was asked if this signing would be one that would matter for this Boston Bruins team. And I think we have to say he absolutely said yes. Because as of now, with that PTO, it's going to be a great opportunity for him to go out here and make another spot for him in the NHL. And if it does come down to it, the Bruins need help. Both Bruins, the Providence and the Boston Bruins, both are going to need help if injuries do continue to plague. And I feel like the more reinforcements you can get, the better opportunity it is for both of these groups. So let me know, first of all, what you think down in the comments below about these line changes for tonight's game in approximately 3 hours and how this is going to have an impact on what we see coming at least over the next few games until we see Elias Lindholm back and Casey Middlestat, the rest of the players here that are injured, because we have a boatload. But if the Bruins do see something good here, as Marco Sturm has said, it's kind of the next man up mentality. You're getting the opportunity, you have to seize it. So let me know what you think in the comments below here. That's all I got in this one, though. If you did enjoy, give it a like, hit the sub button as well. I'm signing out, though. Thank you for watching. Hope you have a great day. See you later.